This is a 10-minute follow-along routine, really great for just nourishing the body with some light stretching and strengthening. But before we get into it, I want to pause to say that we hit 1 million subscribers and really just thank you all for supporting the channel. A number that large is hard to fathom, but what makes it real is you guys who comment on the videos and share your story. I wanted to celebrate with a classic strength side routine that's very beginner friendly. Let's begin on our hands and knees with some flexion and extension of the spine. Extend the spine by lifting the head and butt into the air. Make sure to relax the belly. Round the spine by tucking the chin and pushing the ground away from you, making the back as wide as you can. A spine that can move well without tension has big carryover into loosening all the joints of the body. The classic cat-cow from yoga is one of the simplest ways to keep that spine nice and mobile. Let's do our last rep, and this is a nice transition into bird dogs. Reach one arm out in front and the opposite leg behind you. This is a fantastic core exercise because we want to keep our trunk neutral and not overextend the lower back. We can achieve this by putting pressure into the ground with the hand and knee that stay down. We want to get nice tight lines here. Picture someone's taking a photo of you for Instagram. You don't want to look sloppy. You want to be aesthetically pleasing. And after our last rep here, we will transition nicely into a child's pose by just sitting those hips back towards our heels and reaching the arms overhead. One range of motion that we all don't do enough is just hanging out with our arms overhead. It gives us a natural stretch for the trunk and the big lat muscles. And to upgrade this move a little bit, you can come onto your fingertips and you can press your chest down towards the ground. Notice that this creates some arching and extension in the upper back, which is usually where we get stiff and rounded from doing too much sitting. Now we can ease our way out of this and come down to lay on our belly. Place the forearms down by your side and slowly lift the chest up off the ground. Once again, we'll be doing some extension of the spine here and reversing some of that daily slumping. And make sure to squeeze your butt here just to keep that lower back nice and safe. Now we can take this to the next level by coming up on our hands. But if you're feeling nice and good right now, there's no need to push this too soon. But for some of you that want a little extra stretch of that whole front side of the body, we can hang out on the hands for just about 10 to 15 seconds here. And now where do we go from here but the classic downward dog? Make that body into a triangle and start to gently press the chest towards the thighs. I like to alternate by putting one heel down at a time, and once I feel good enough, I'll place both heels down and really feel that nice stretch through the hamstrings and the calves. There's a reason why you always see dogs do this actually. It's definitely worth some daily attention for keeping your body strong and supple. So go ahead and take a quick break here and make your way down into a position where you are sitting on your knees. Now what I want you to do is bring your hips forward by really squeezing the butt and squeezing the core. We want to reach one arm into the air, and I want you to focus on lengthening the side of the reached arm. This is an area that often gets neglected, and that's the sides of our torso. We can bend side to side, but we rarely do it in everyday life. Now, once you have the hang of this motion, you can also squeeze and contract the side of the core with the hand reaching down. And trying to touch the ground is a good marker to shoot for. So let's do one more on each side and really feel that big stretch. So next up, we're gonna do a nice stretch for the front of the thighs in this same position. Really squeeze the core and the glute muscles, and then we'll just slightly lean the torso back. As soon as you do so, you'll feel a big stretch through the front of the hips, especially if you keep the butt and the core contracted. Now, over time, you can work your way down, lower and lower, but for now, just go to where you feel a good stretch and hold that position. Okay, go ahead and relax, and we're going to move directly into a deep lunge stretch. Our main intention here is opening that back hip, and boy, I don't know if any stretch feels as good as this one. Now we can slightly rotate the body and lift one arm to further facilitate this stretch of the hip flexors and now the spine. Think about getting long here, lengthening through the leg all the way up to the hand. Go ahead and relax and we'll switch sides. So as you get into the other side, our first intention is just trying to let that back hip relax and getting some length there. I find it helpful to sometimes bounce in and out of the deep position. And once you feel comfortable, let's twist the spine and reach the arm up to the sky. And when we're stretching, it's an interesting combination of really trying to lengthen the body, which takes force, but at the same time relaxing the body. And that's where deep breathing comes in, long exhales, and really trying to relax into a deep position. Okay, let's go ahead and relax and take your time here to just come into a standing position. I want you to start by bending forward and placing the hands somewhere on your shins. Use your hands to pull your torso down and then bend the knees into a squat position. We're gonna work between these two positions here as they really support each other. Notice that I'm taking it nice and slow here. I'm not forcing anything too much. I'm just letting my body slowly warm up and get more used to each position. For those of you that can, you can grab your feet or place your hands down on the ground to get deeper and deeper into these stretches. And to me, this is what stretching is all about. It's guiding your body into deeper and deeper positions as your body feels safe. And it takes time to make it feel safe. So don't feel bad if you can't get as deep into a position as you'd like. It really takes gradual effort to make the body feel safer and more comfortable in a position. Once you put in the time, your body will finally release and you'll feel better in deeper positions. So now let's find our way down to laying on our back. We're gonna do one of my favorite exercises for the glutes, and that's the march. Find a good position where your core is turned on and your butt is squeezed. We now lift one knee at a time, trying to maintain that height of the hips as we lift the knee off the ground. I think this exercise has a really nice carryover into everyday life because when we walk, when we run, we're using one leg at a time. So to have that power from your hips with one leg is super beneficial. On this last rep, go ahead and hold for about 5 to 10 seconds in that single leg extended position. Go ahead and relax. And if you guys have followed Strength Side for a bit, you know that I love dead bugs, and that's what we're gonna move into. So we're squeezing our core muscles and we're lowering one hand and the opposite foot to the ground. As you lower your limbs, this will want to break your torso position. So that's when you need to squeeze extra hard through your core to make sure that it stays stable as we're moving. We're learning how to move our hips and our shoulders while still keeping a nice neutral torso. Relax, and we will stand back up here. And guys, we are getting so much done in just 10 minutes. Let's reach the arms out directly to our sides. We're gonna simply rotate the shoulders inward and outward. Think about those shoulders being rolled forward and then rolled back. This is so good for the shoulders to go through this full rotational range of motion that they have. It's surprising how a simple exercise like this can allow you to gain more control over your shoulders, and you can use them more efficiently when you're doing other exercises. So now we'll reach the arms overhead And then nice and fluidly bring the arms down to the ground. You can spend a few seconds in each position here. You can think about reaching and lengthening the body, and this is such a good way to end all of the nice nourishing movement that we did for our body here. I hope you guys are feeling as good as I am. Remember that you can revisit this routine anytime. You can feel nice and open in your body, and it just takes 10 minutes. And if you are feeling good, I'd love it if you drop a comment below, share a little bit about yourself. Right after we finished this routine, we went on an amazing little hike back in those trees behind us, and I'm just gonna pop the view in for y'all to see right here. Be on the lookout for a new morning routine follow along dropping next week. I appreciate you guys being here with me, and I'll see you in the next video, as always.